What is going on, y'all? Robert Sykes with KetoSavage.com. Welcome to week 11 of the contest prep vlog series. So it has been an absolute whirlwind for me. If y'all can recall the last week 10 update, that's when we were on the cruise, the low-carb cruise all week. So all the chaos of traveling came with that. And then this week I was actually gone all week as well. I was at home Monday, and then I flew to Arizona, Flagstaff, Arizona, to pick up a vehicle for the business, and then drove it back. So I was on the road driving Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I was out of town all weekend for visiting my family for Father's Day as well. So it was just nonstop travel all this week as well, which means that Monday I had my normal foods. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday I had foods that all hit my macros, but they were not like the venison and eggs, because I couldn't keep them cold because I flew into Flagstaff. I didn't want to carry an ice chest with me, so I had similar foods to what I was having on the cruise ship. So pretty much the same there, and then I got back home and then had venison and eggs again. So I don't normally have a week in which I'm having a variety of foods, and it wasn't that much variety. It was just simply one, I had foods that could be not kept cold, and some of those days I had food that had to be kept cold. So they hit the macros perfectly, but a little bit more variability throughout the week than I typically recommend, because I normally just like to have the exact same foods every single day for a given week. So this week I had two different food options basically, and I'll walk through that for you in just a moment. So that was the difference with regards to the food. From a macro and calorie standpoint, and from a weight standpoint, going to the spreadsheet here, I was 169 on Monday, 167.9 on Tuesday when I woke up, so a little bit lower than that goal weight. And then when I returned back from the driving, I was maintained that weight of 167.9. So pretty solid there. Definitely a little bit lower than what the tentative linear goal weight is, so not really concerned at all with that. The macros for week 11 were 165 grams of fat, 180 grams of protein, so the protein is higher than dietary fat now, and 15 grams of total carbs. And I did 2 days a week of cardio, both at 20 minutes and level 12. I haven't increased that from the week prior because I'm going to be incorporating more walking. So I am going to be increasing my overall expenditure, but it's going to be more so from the additional walking in preparation for that 50-mile march I have coming up in August, as opposed to increasing stairmaster. I will be increasing stairmaster, but I want to hold off a little bit longer on that, because I do think my body is responding pretty well thus far with the manipulations I have been doing. So that's what the macros and weight have been doing. According to my InBody Scan, I'll go ahead and give you that data as well. I got an InBody Scan. Let me go to history, and let's see here. So on 6/12, which was that Monday, I was weighing, or my skeletal muscle mass on 6/12 was 88.4 pounds, body fat mass 14.1, body fat percentage 8.4%, and that is via the InBody. So again, I don't think I'm quite that low. I think I'm probably around 10% body fat right now, but that's kind of what the InBody is showing, so trending in the right direction there, with no loss in lean mass via the InBody, so that's always a plus too. And I wasn't able to lift heavy on the cruise because I didn't have the barbells and stuff I'm accustomed to, but I did sumo deadlifts, for instance, on Saturday of this week, and was able to go up to, what did I go up to, 425, I believe, and maintained my rep count and volume with that with no issues whatsoever. So haven't lost any strength, which is a huge plus. All right, so now diving into the foods that I used to kind of make up those macros. This is what I have on the traveling day. So I had a scoop of collagen coffee with 1 tablespoon of heavy whipping cream. The coffee was kind of gross, by the way, with that input, so don't recommend it from a flavor standpoint. 1 Bell's Brownie Keto Brick, and then I was pretty much, like I said, doing what I was doing on the cruise. So I would stop at a Love's gas station. Quick tip for y'all. Most Love's gas stations have a package of hard-boiled eggs that are peeled and ready to go, and there's typically 4 in a package. So I would pretty much just stop at a Love's truck stop and get a little package of hard-boiled eggs, and I'd have that with a package of the Carnivore Snax beef sliders and 1 can of sardines. So that was pretty much my travel meals. And then on the days that I was home, which so Monday, Saturday, and Sunday, I switched to an unsweetened Laird superfood coconut-based creamer, and it's not very tasty. So I don't really recommend that from a flavor standpoint either, but my fat's getting quite a bit lower, so I put that in place of the heavy cream, and then continue with the 1 Bell's Brownie Keto Brick. And then my actual meal is 8 eggs cooked in 1 tablespoon of olive oil with 14 ounces of venison. And that's pretty much what I have from a food standpoint. Nailing my macros both times, 52 on the calories. Again, total fat, 164 with a goal of 165. 13 total carbs, and then 179 on the protein with a goal of 180. So hit my macros pretty much on the nose there. So feeling pretty good about that. Again, I wouldn't recommend having 2 different varieties of foods throughout the week, but for me traveling, that worked well. Plus, those travel meals is exactly what I was having for the most part on the cruise the week prior, so I knew my body was going to respond well to it. All right, now let's dive into the posing. Quick caveat on the posing. I hired a posing coach. Super excited to be working with her. It's Rachel Daniels. I watched her compete at the St. Louis Pro, which I don't know if that's where she got her IFBB Pro card or not, but she competed there, and she was like a showstopper with regards to her skill in posing. So I hired her to help me with my posing. I've never hired a coach for posing in the past, so I'm kind of curious to see how this works. We've been going through different songs to try and find the right song for my routine, and she was kind of helping me with some posing maneuvers. This footage is meeting with her, so this footage is kind of like what I've been doing, so it shouldn't be any different than what you are used to seeing, but that's a little update on the posing component. So let's dive into this updated posing footage to just see changes in conditioning. All right, so front relaxed there. I could definitely tell more definition in my quads, and also I'm just losing fat everywhere, which is exactly what we want in a cut. But you can see it particularly on my lower back. You can see the outline of the Christmas tree coming in there. My hamstrings have leaned up quite a bit. There's a lot more separation between my hamstrings and my quads, so feeling good about that. And this is pretty much the end of the symmetry round poses. So now we're going to transition into the muscular rounds. So we got the front lat spread here. You can pretty much see more striations in the shoulder caps, front double bicep. Again, there's just a lot of definition in my quads this early on in the prep, so I feel really, really good about that. Side chest here, again, more striations visible on the shoulder caps. Side tricep, and that horseshoe starting to pop a little bit now. So look at the hamstrings with these 2 back poses. So you can see when I fire the hamstrings, there on the left, you can see a little bit more definition this week than you were previously able to see, which I'm super excited about. And then going into the back double bicep, everything's just leaning out in the back. I'm just carrying much less fat on my lower back than I do, obviously, in a building phase. Side chest from the other side, side tricep, looking good there. And then let's see what we got now. Back to the lat spread, and then my little signature pose there. I'm probably going to try and incorporate that into the bicep posing with the mandatory poses because it's just a little bit of a flare. It's not quite as traditional double bicep pose, but I want to incorporate it, and I'll obviously incorporate it into my routine. And then there's the crab most muscular. And that's it for the posing, ladies and gents. Let me pause that. So that's pretty much what we're looking at now for week 11. Honestly, I was so busy this week with the traveling. I was hungrier last week on the cruise without having as much, or with having more food then than I have now. I think honestly just simply being busy this week, busier than I was on the cruise, has not allowed me to think about food as much, and that is a huge component of a prep. Like if you are super busy, you're not going to fix on the food as much. If you are constantly obsessing about the food, your hunger signals are going to ramp up and you're going to be hungry. It's going to be more miserable for you. So one little simple piece of advice in a contest prep is to simply keep your mind and your body busy and active so that you're not fixating on food all the time. That's no way to live. And that, ladies and gents, rounds out the week 11 update. I will see y'all next week. I'll get some caliper tests. I'll get some measurements. Sorry I didn't do that this week. I'll get you all updated on that next week, and we will see you then.